Why would anyone possibly confuse you with me?
We all love a good movie ending, but sometimes we sit through an amazing film only for the last few moments to derail everything. I'm looking at you, Morbius.
Intriguing.
But did you know that some iconic films had drastically different alternate conclusions? Today, we're diving into some of the most fascinating alternate endings, so let's dive into it. Fight Club has become a cult classic since its release. Renowned for its darkly comedic take on mental health, it is amongst the 250 best reviewed movies on Letterboxd. We all recognize its ending, right? However, when the film was released in mainland China, it had a drastically different ending. On Tencent Video, a streaming service of mainland China, the original climax was replaced with something else, which completely altered the rebellious tone. This change aligns with China's censorship practices, which demand a narrative that maintains the status quo. Films like Men in Black and Infernal Affairs have also experienced similar alterations for the Chinese market. So what exactly was this ending?
What's that smell?
Fun fact, this ending is actually more in line with the original ending of the book that Fight Club the movie is based on. One can only hope that China will realize that a movie about destroying corporate offices won't inspire a revelation.
I'm going from the CERN Institute.
I don't understand. How can they have no record of her being there?
There has to be some explanation.
Orphan is one of the craziest movies I've seen in my lifetime. I think all of us can agree that the main twist of this movie had all of our jaws on the floor. We all know the story of this movie. A couple adopts a 9-year-old girl, Esther, who later turns out to be a 33-year-old woman with dwarfism. In the end, the mother Trisha realizes that the 9-year-old girl isn't Esther and isn't 9 years old. She's actually Lena, a 33-year-old woman. We all remember the ending as well.
Please. Don't let me die, Moby. I'm not your fucking mommy!
The film ends with Kate drowning Esther in a frozen lake to protect her family. But did you know there was an alternate ending to this scene?
And when the world is through. Hello.
In this version, Esther, now fully made up, greets the police, leaving the fate of Kate and Max ambiguous, while John's body is visible. This scene was likely scrapped because it set up a potential sequel, which the studio may not have felt confident in pursuing. Interestingly, a prequel titled Orphan, The First Kill, was released years later, which has been better received critically than the original. Have you seen it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Directed by Jordan Peele, Get Out is regarded as a modern classic for its incisive commentary on race. In Get Out, Chris Washington visits his white girlfriend Rose and her family, where her parents Dean and Messi act friendly but unsettling. Strange behaviors around him make him realize that Rose's family abducts black people to transplant white minds into their bodies. When he tries to escape, Rose reveals her role in the scheme and Chris is captured for a procedure. We all remember the ending of this film as well.
Chris, I love you. I love you. Love you.
Shit!
In the final version, Chris escapes the Armitage family with the help of his friend Rod. However, the original ending was much darker. Chris would be arrested after killing Rose and Rod would visit him in jail, where Chris insists that he stopped the threat and is fine. While thematically powerful, test audiences found it too bleak, prompting Peele to opt for a more hopeful conclusion. This case illustrates how studio feedback can enhance a film, providing a satisfying payoff while still delivering its critical message. If you're enjoying the video till now, then please consider hitting the subscribe button. It helps a lot. Thanks. This is my favorite film of all time. If you guys like this movie, then I highly recommend watching Hearts of Darkness, a filmmaker's apocalypse. It's a behind the scenes on the making of this movie. It's also directed by Coppola's wife. This movie was a huge risk for Coppola. He risked it all for this movie. He put up his own money and believed in the vision more than anyone else did, and it paid off. It made over $100 million at the box office and it was a huge success critically as well. In Apocalypse Now, Captain Willard is sent on a covert mission during Vietnam War to find and assassinate Colonel Kurtz, a rogue officer who has gone insane and set himself up as a godlike figure among a local tribe deep in the jungle. As Willard and his crew travel upriver, they encounter surreal horrors reflecting the madness of war, including violent attacks, chaos, and moral decay. When Willard finally reaches Kurtz's compound, he confronts the Colonel's philosophy on war and insanity. In the end, Willard kills Kurtz, fulfilling his mission, and leaves the jungle questioning the nature of morality and human nature. This masterpiece by Francis Ford Coppola almost had a very different ending. Originally, screenwriting John Milius envisioned a traditional war movie finale, with Captain Willard joining Colonel Kurtz in a heroic stand against an air assault. This climax would involve Kurtz's compound being bombed, leading to a chaotic and action-packed conclusion. However, Coppola shifted the tone entirely, opting for a surreal, introspective end where Willard kills Kurtz and quietly leaves the jungle. This change turned Apocalypse Now into an existential meditation on war rather than a conventional battle film, emphasizing the psychological journey and moral ambiguity over overt military spectacle.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
Ridley Scott's Blade Runner is celebrated as one of the greatest sci-fi films of all time. Nobody had ever seen a film like Blade Runner before Blade Runner. In Blade Runner, Rick Deckard, a former Blade Runner tasked with hunting down rogue androids called replicants, is pulled back into duty to retire a group of dangerous replicants led by Roy Batty. These replicants have returned to Earth seeking a way to extend their short pre-programmed lifespans. As Deckard tracks them down through the rain-soaked dystopian streets of Los Angeles, he encounters Rachel, a replicant who is unaware of her artificial nature. Their interactions force Deckard to question the line between human and machine. In the climactic encounter, Batty saves Deckard's life before succumbing to his limited lifespan, leaving Deckard to reflect on the meaning of humanity. This film ends ambiguously, hinting that Deckard's own identity may not be as clear-cut as it seems. The theatrical version featured a Hollywood-style ending where Deckard escapes with Rachel, complete with an upbeat voiceover. This footage that was shot by Ridley Scott was eventually used in Stanley Kubrick's most famous movie of all time, The Shining. However, the conclusion felt too glossy for Scott's vision. In later cuts, Scott removed the narration and opted for a more ambiguous ending, leaving audiences uncertain about Rachel's fate. This open-ended conclusion aligns with the film's theme of identity, humanity, and morality, solidifying its status as a sci-fi classic. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more movie insights like these. Also, let me know in the comments if you know any other alternate endings. See you in the next one.